Okay, so we're gonna do one of the wolves of the film. You see that Mebh is always surrounded by that big pack of wolves, and sometimes they merge together and they form this big mass, and it's really, really cool. So for that, we're gonna use, you can use a pencil, because what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to make the line a bit rough, the same way that's in the film. So the way we start is what we call a construction drawing, which is to give us a guideline of where he's going to be. So first we start with a circle around here, which is, it gives us idea of where the head's going to be positioned. Now it doesn't have to be very precise. You can draw very loosely. Now from this circle, we kind of come in with a little half moon shape above it, and on the front of it a little square like this, and that is going to be the shape of the wolf's head. And on top here we're going to have the ears. So you see it's all very loose for the moment, and then we're going to draw a bit, drawing the details later. And then for the body, let's make a bit of an angry pose. So we can have an arch shape here for his back, if you just draw a big arch here. And next to the head here, we're going to draw a bigger circle that's for his chest. And a smaller circle here at the end of the arch, that's going to be his hips. So that's our basic shape of the body of the wolf going over here. Now we go back to the head just to finish it off now. Here towards this part here is going to be his snout. See, he's kind of looking into us. So we can make it your stronger line here. Here at the bottom, we make a kind of a triangle shape for his nose, and we can fill that in black. We're going to do here the shape of the head, and we're going to add some hairs over here. Some hairs over here, and then we can connect this shape to the snout. And here now, around the middle, we're gonna get that nice shape connecting the head to the snout like this. And on the other side, coming down all the ways to the nose. And in each side of it is going to be the eyes. And let's give him a little line underneath the eyes. And the pupils inside. Now it already starts to look a bit more like a wolf face. Let's work on the ears now again. Around the middle of the ears, we do a separation here, and the top part of the triangle will be the outside of the ear. So we add some little hairs here, and the same on the other side. And on the top, a few little hairs. Now we can go to, we have the face done, we can work on the body now. Let's give him some, do you know when cats and dogs, they have the hairs sticking up on the top of their backs? So we try to give him that. It's gonna look cool. So here on top of his back, let's give him some hairs sticking up. So like this. We just follow that line, adding some hairs all the ways up to here. And then from here on, we just continue the line. And then we can add some extra hairs around here to make it a bit rough. Now, for the bottom of the drawing, we're going to first connect these circles here, and then close the shape, and then close the shape here with a straight line. And from here, we're going to add the paw coming out the back. So for the paw, we're going to do this sort of shape. If you look at dogs, if you look at dogs, their paws go, their legs go like this, and then like this. And here will be the little foot. So it goes back and then forward. So let's do this here. Shape going back, shape going back here, and then just a straight line coming down. And on this side, let's do a nice curve coming down. And here at the bottom, we can close with the little paw, give him some toes. There you go. And then we can close off this shape here. Now the front one, let's just do coming forward like this, just a big straight line coming down here, and a little bit of a curved line coming down here. So that's your paw. Close it here, give him some toes. There you go, and you can make it come up like this. Now we have to do the back paws as well. Here in the front, you can do just another one just like this here. You see I'm being a bit rough with my line, so it looks a bit angry. Giving the toes here again. And for the back one, let's make like he's just about to start walking. So curve, curve, and then to the other side here, coming straight, and you just have to close here his little paw and give him some toes. There you go. Now it's still missing something, right? It's missing his tail, so let's put that in. So you see that we have this really nice curve coming up the back and down here, so you just continue the same shape and then coming up to do the tail. So continue this line down here and up. And at the bottom, we give it some hairs like that. So basically, that's your wolf shape done. We just have to add some hairs now to make it nice, to make it a bit more rough and a bit more scary. So here at the bottom of the tail, we can add some hairs here. And around here as well, around his back, you get some hairs too. So you do some V shapes and some little strokes like that very quickly with your pencil. And there you have it, one of the wolves from the forest. All right, so what we can try to do now is to do a little bit of animation on this, just so you can see how we do like a very simple one, so you can see how you could do your own animations at home. Well, basically what animation is we do one drawing and then you do another drawing where the character moves a little bit and moves a little bit more and a little bit more, and each drawing it moves a little bit. So what we're going to do here is we're going to get another paper and put on top of it of your previous one. Now I'm going to use, if you can see, this is an animation paper. It's got these holes underneath. That is so we can use a bar like this that has this these pegs, and I'm going to stick it here to put into place. Now I'm going to use this just to show you guys how it works, but what you can do at home is just have the papers on top of each other, or have a little paper clip holding the two pieces of paper together. But what this pack does is that I can have my original drawing here, and I can have a new piece of paper on the top, and they are basically stuck together and they're not going to move. They'll be in the same position. So what we're going to do is we're going to trace the same drawing again, but this time we're going to make the eyes closed. So when you flip between the two drawings, your wolf is going to be blinking. So I'm going to just go ahead and just do the head so we can see it happen, but you can do the whole body when you have time. So let's trace. If you can't really see your drawing underneath the paper, you can hold it against a window as well. It should be easier. So go ahead and trace the whole head, but leave the eyes out. Don't do the eyes yet. So let's do this. I'll start with this. I'm just copying the drawing that's underneath. But I want to keep those lines rough. With some hairs here like I did before. Ears, hairs on top of the ears. Now, where the eyes are on the drawing below, you do this on the same position. You can draw these closed eyes like this way, and this way. So what you have now is when you flip between your back drawing and your front drawing, you can see your wolf blinking. And then you can just trace the rest of the wolf and do your animation then. All right, so we have the closed eyes here, and I'm just going to trace the rest of the body so we have the same drawing as before. Well, there you have it. Got your blinking wolf. Now, if you like doing that, you can do other drawings. You can do the eyes half blinked, and you can just start flipping your drawings. Or what you can do is, if you have a little block of paper, you can draw in the corner, and then you can flip all your drawings and do your own little animations at home.
Hi, I'm going to be drawing Mebh with you today. So Mebh is very round. And usually when we draw the characters, we construct them first. So for starters, I'm going to draw a big circle for her head. Like a big sun shape. There you go. And don't worry about being too clean with the lines, because it's very rough and very free. So just feel out the circle a bit and take your time. And then her body is a jelly bean shape. So I'm gonna line that out under her head. And of course we won't actually see that under her clothes, but just so we know where everything goes. And from that, draw the legs down. And little square feet. So she's a very round character, but the squarest part on her body is her feet. So I'm gonna do that as the base so she has a good balance on the ground. There we go. Let's do rough. I'm gonna put out her arms. I'm gonna have them rest on her hip. There we go. both sides. And then for her ears, they're like a little heart shape separated on either side of her face. They're like mug handles. So I'm gonna line them out on both sides. And then she has a little cut in one of them. Just gonna put that there. Yeah, and then I usually go in and I start with the eyes. So I'll do like a little line separating her face so I know where they go. And I'm going to draw her smiling. So her eyes are usually very round, but I'm going to curve them just a little bit. So there's room for that big smile. I'm going to put in the eye shape here. Round, and I'm going to curve it right at the line that I drew. Just little hairs on top of her eye. Like that. I'm going to draw in the pupil. The iris. Go. I'm going to draw the other eye. I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to think of a very round shape. I'm going to cut it just around the line that I made. I'm going to draw in the iris, the pupil. You can track with the other pupils, see if they're sort of on the same line, so it looks like she's focused and ready. Gonna draw in the lines at the top. And for her nose, it's also a little circle, but like a flatter circle. So her nostrils are an M on the circle, M for Mebh. And I'm gonna put them also to touch, the lines are gonna stop where I did the line where on the same level as the eyes. Just like that. And then there's room for a big smile. There we go. We like to put it a little bit to one side so not everything is directly in the center of the drawing. And then she has really big teeth. She's a little wolf. I'm going to draw in the big fangs. Go. And then for her neck and for the top of her head, we actually use a very similar shape. It's like a little teardrop upside down, or a little water drop. So I'm gonna put a line down here, and I'm gonna do the same for her face. Indicate just where the lines go. There we go. And then she has a sash that's quite high on her body. I'm going to do a line that's a bit above the half point of her jelly bean body. I'm going to draw two lines and have where they are tied come down. So one line goes over and one is under. Just like that. And then, of course, we don't see her body, so I'm going to draw her clothes on top. Like a little bell shape. And it comes over, and then her dress is torn a little bit. She's wild and free in the forest. So I'm going to put in a little tear there at the bottom. Drawing the feet. Don't worry about being too clean, because we'll see. I'll cover her feet in some lines, because she's a little bit dirty feet. There we go. And then her arms. Put in a little sleeve here on the outline of the arm that I made, and curve that. Keep the roundness in her body and just curve the elbow. Her arms get a little bit thinner towards the body, so I'm gonna make sure that the lines are not parallel, but just curve in a little bit. Join the hand. Do the same with the other arm. Keep that roundness in there. Put the hand here as well. She's wearing these cuffs, and they're sort of at the almost at the half point of the lower arm, but not exactly. So keep a little space and put them in there. There's a little V shape inside both. Add that in there. That's her body. She also is also wearing these very, very big round earrings. I'm gonna put them here. Just like that. Outline her head a little bit more before I start my favorite part of Mebh's design. See, I colored in the feet a little bit. Her nose is actually also colored in a little bit, so we can just put some lines here as well. The center of her face. Okay, my favorite part is her big hair. So don't be too don't hold back too much. Just make a big outline around her, just like as round as you can, but not too circular. That like, put in a little detail for the hair at the point at the end here, but then it's just a big round circle. Very voluminous hair. It's good to keep the lines a little extra loose on the hair. And then she has like 3 lines that go from the center of her, the heart shape on her head, up beyond the outline of the hair, just like this. And then we have some lines that follow the shape to help hint at the volume that's inside. So we curve them around like this to follow the big shape of the hair. There we go. Curves the other way on the other side. You can add a few extra lines on the outside to give it even more wildness if you want. And that's Mebh.
Hello, my name is Ross. Today we're going to draw a tree for your character, Mebh or Wolf or Robin or whoever to stand in. So first of all, we're going to have a look at the size of our character, whatever size you've drawn them. And we're going to just make a little space for them to stand. So just draw a little kind of oval shape, and maybe draw some grass and debris, a couple of leaves or whatever around. And that's kind of like your stage where your character is going to stand, right? So now you know the height of your character and where they're going to be, and you can make say a tree or something to frame the character. So draw a big swoopy shape around like that, and that'll help frame your character like that. So once you have that, then you can start filling in details. You can draw the other side of the tree, a big curve. You can draw some roots in, some big kind of circular roots. And you can draw maybe a branch up at the top that goes in a curve like this. And then you can start filling in a kind of a rough shape for all the leaves of the tree, right? So draw just some squiggles like that. It doesn't have to be very precise or anything. Probably the rougher you draw it, the better, because the style of the Wolfwalkers forest is very rough. So then that's your basic kind of composition there. And then, yeah, put your character in to check again. So that looks good. So the important thing to remember then is the size of, say, leaves and things like that, that if your character, Mebh, was going to pick up a leaf, it has to be like the right size. It can't be really, really tiny, or it can't be way, way too big. So draw a leaf, say, that you think that your character could pick up and hold, and it would be believable. And then that'll give you a sense of scale, what to base all the other leaves off. So once you have that leaf, then you can just start drawing in lots of other leaves that look roughly the same, and then you know that the size is going to be right. So you can just draw them really, really roughly. Try and get them all going in one direction, because then it'll be a nice kind of flow to the background. That's one of the things that we did in Wolfwalkers. We concentrated on flowy lines going through all of the shapes. So we're just going to draw lots and lots of scribbly leaves in at the top, all facing the same direction, all kind of going in the same flow line. They kind of look like love hearts, but really they're kind of based on an oak leaf, which is kind of like a shape like that. It's kind of squiggly, and sometimes it has a line through the middle, so you can draw that in too if you want. So we're going to do lots and lots of leaves all around. And then in some places, maybe where it's in shadow, you can just do lots and lots and lots of scribbles until it's kind of darker than the rest. You don't really need to draw leaves at this stage, just scribbles is enough. Okay, so we'll darken this bit over here too. That gives you a canopy then for your tree. Then you can concentrate on the bark next. And one of the things that we had in Wolfwalkers trees is sometimes they have mushrooms, bracket mushrooms growing up the trunk of the tree. So we'll just draw them in, they're kind of like saucers or like dinner plates or something on the side of the tree like that. It just gives a little bit of a variety to the, what do you call it, the flora of the environment. So just draw a couple of those in there like that. Now we're going to give the trunk of the tree a flow, and I don't know if you ever go into the forest and sometimes you see a tree and it grows around in a kind of a curve. You can see the bark twisting. So we're going to do some bark lines that'll show a twist in the trunk of the tree. And then once you have those rough lines in, then you can start adding in some detail. And the bark, we're going to make this kind of an old tree, so it would have lots of gaps in the bark, and we just draw them in with big black kind of lines like that. Kind of dashed lines, because sometimes the bark of the tree is very kind of chunky and bitty. So we put in some dark lines around, and some bigger maybe black lines that help describe that flow. And again, you can make one area much darker and leave one area a little bit lighter, and it kind of helps show that there's a light hitting the tree, and some part is in shadow and some part isn't. So we'll make the bits underneath the leaves dark, because they would cast a shadow on the trunk of the tree. And then we'll make the outline a little bit darker too. This is the time that maybe if you wanted to, you could put in a little bird up in the tree as well. And then again, just check the size against your character to see that it's not going to be a bird that looks way, way too big, or a bird that's too small. So just put in a couple of little legs that are holding on to the branch of the tree, and maybe give it a little belly that you could colour in later. And there you have a little bird in your tree too. So one of the things about the trees in Ireland, and a lot of places, is that they have ivy growing up around the trunks of the trees. Ivy is everywhere in the forest here, and you could start by maybe just doing one shape that could be your ivy, what do you call it, kind of, it's like a branch of ivy, I suppose. And then off that you can do little ivy leaves. And ivy leaves usually have like 3 points to them, so it's kind of like half a star. And you can do lots of little ivy leaves coming off the main trunk of ivy. And again, you can you can group them together so that on some parts there would be less leaves and some parts there would be a clump of leaves, and that makes it look a little bit more believable. So put in a clump of leaves here and maybe just a couple of leaves elsewhere. And that's your little bit of ivy growing up. And then the roots of this tree are going to be all kind of like little semicircles. And you can make some bigger and some smaller. And then you can shade again underneath to make it look like that there's little holes maybe for little mice or voles or shrews or anything to live in. And then continue the roots end behind Mebh. And here you can put in like some little like bits of grass or flowers. Something nice that you see in your garden or out on forest walks. Some flowers that are quite big and then other ones that are just little tiny ones. You can just do little circles for them almost. And then put in some vegetation around the base of the tree like that. And then on the ground, because it's autumn, do some leaves that have fallen off the ivy and fallen off the tree. Again, you can make them different shapes and different sizes and clump some of them together and then put others far apart. Put some on the other side of Mebh. And some grass and little tiny flowers. You could even put in a little mouse with a curly tail. And some ears. And a bit of hair. Again, check your character on top. You could put in a couple of little spiders or bugs on the branch or on the trunk of the tree. You could even put a little spider on a web hanging down from the trunk of the tree. All kinds of things that you see in your garden or in the forest to make it seem a little bit more interesting and varied and alive. There you have your background. So then that leaves it open to color, and you can use all kinds of colors. You can color the autumn leaves at the top orange. You can color the trunk of the tree brown with maybe some moss, so little bits of green, and then you can color in all the flowers different colors, and then hopefully when you put your character in on top and you color your character, you'll have like a nice environment for your character to sit in. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed that. Thanks very much.